appeared on his own behalf. And there's nothing more embarrassing than a lawyer to lose to some schmuck.
Oh, no.
But the judge held his toes to the fire and didn't let him screw around. And afterwards, the judge just gave me a rash of shit.
Well, this guy was,
Because the judge said, if you'd stepped out of bounds, I would have jumped all over you. I said, I kind of figured that. He said, can I buy you another drink?
well, another one of these, because now I'm hooked, right? The guy was going to cross-examine a cop who pulled him over, tried to pull him over. He wouldn't stop, and he was speeding, and all this things. It was all there. He just wouldn't do it, right? And so he's going to cross the, hilarity ensues, right? He goes, no. And the other side would dear God.
COVID, he's got 2 vaccines and a booster.
Oh, wow.
Does
he run around condition?
Yeah, well, they found out he had blood clots. I don't know if that's. He's got arthritis with his knee.
Yeah.
Who do you know for sure was me driving?
You couldn't see me, I was standing behind you.
That's what you said. Yeah, the car was nothing. No, I pulled up close. There you were driving.
That's a classic. That one's been that one's been around for a long time.
Oh my God.
Okay. Emmett, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We
Hey, Joe.
can see you.
You don't see me?
I said, and we can see you.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can hear you then. I thought you said we can't see you.
No, we can hear and can.
Okay.
And you can hear and see us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we've got 7:30. Let's call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call please. Mr. Moreno. Mr. Datley. Mr. Harney.
Here.
Mr. Thorne.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Nimitz.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. President. We have a quorum, we have a meeting. According to the gubernatorial disaster proclamation, we are once again allowed to utilize remote access to the board meeting. And joining us that way this evening is trustee Nemec. The rest, trustee Perino and Diatley are absent this evening. Joining us in Village Hall is trustee Hoffman, Thorne, and Harney, along with the village clerk, the village director of finance, and the village chief of police here in the building this evening. As such, all votes will be by roll call. Okay, moving on. Minutes. We have a motion to approve the minutes of January 3rd, 2022.
So moved. Oh,
Moved by Thorne, seconded by Harney to approve the minutes of January 3rd, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections? There being none, roll call, please. Mr. Nemec.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
Mr. Harney. Aye. Motion so passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, next item on the agenda is the president's report. I have notified or noticed that the gubernatorial proclamation is still in effect. And keep you updated on that at the next meeting. Next item is the continued closure of the village hall due to the Omicron version or variant of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. We've got the village hall closed at this point to the public until tomorrow. Do we want to extend that another 2 weeks to the 7th of February?
Yes.
The 8th, let's say the 8th of February, which gives us Monday night, the 7th, to think about it. Mr. Harney says yes.
I think so too.
All right, okay. I'm getting an affirmative from the other side of the board that we have a motion to so continue the closure of Village Hall to the public until February 7th through February 7th due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
So moved.
Moved by Thorne, seconded by Nemec. All those, or roll call, please.
Excuse me, Mr. Harney. Aye. Mr. Thorne,
Hi.
Mr. Hoffman,
Hi.
Mr. Nimitz.
Aye.
Motion so passes. The Village Hall will be closed to the public through February 7th. We'll take up this item once again on February 7th. Okay, next item. This one we'll get right the third time. It came to our attention as we were finishing up the second revision of the meeting dates for 2022, that one of them fell on June 19th, which this past year was declared a national holiday. Therefore, the schedule has been revised, so June meeting will not fall on Monday, the 19th. We will have it on Tuesday, the 20th. That is the need for the ratification, the revision to Resolution 541.
I'm going to move, we approve Resolution 541 setting the meeting dates for 2022.
Second.
Moved by Nemec, seconded by Thorne to resolve the discrepancy in the meeting dates for 2022 with the revision of Resolution 520 or 541. Any comments, questions, discussion? There being none, roll call, please.
Mr. Harney. Aye. Mr. Nimitz.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman,
Hi.
Mr. Thorne.
Hi.
Motion so passes. Thank you, gentlemen. That is it for the president's report, clerk's report.
The only thing I have tonight is to alert everyone that Kane County will be sending out contacts to confirm economic interest statement. Those of you that have not provided me with your personal email address, I will need that. Anyone who's done this already, I have your personal email address and I got Mark's. So you can expect an email from King County probably within the next 2 weeks or so. I will submit a report tomorrow.
Thank you, John. Planning and zoning, there is no report. Attorney, there is no report. Engineer, there is no report. Finance.
We have warrants in the amount of $122,377.52. So I need a motion for that, please.
Okay.
George motion.
To approve the second.
Second by Thorne, moved by Hoffman, seconded by Thorne to approve the warrants of January 18th in the amount of $122,377.52. Any additions, deletions, comments, or questions? There being none, roll call, please.
Mr. Nimitz.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman,
Hi.
Mr. Thorne,
Hi.
Mr. Harney.
Aye. Motion so passes. Thank you all.
So I have.
That's it. Okay, thank you, Eugene. Comments from the public. Anybody sign in for first? Okay. Jeff,
Okay, I'm Jeff.
got 5 minutes.
I just had a couple of things. We're still not really clear on the signs. We were told originally that the signs were here and that they were waiting for the posts. And right, the last time I talked to you, you said that we were waiting for signs.
We're waiting for the post.
Okay.
That's what, yeah,
We-
the two things are kind of connected. So,
We have no idea. We wanted to know what signs were ordered. Is that, we have no idea what signs you ordered or planning on putting up.
I can get the list that we went through with trustee Diatley that I know he had put together. And we can get that
I
out.
just want to know what signs you ordered. That's, I didn't know why it's so hard, you know?
Yeah, I think
It's a mixture of signs.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, you just wanted to know.
And they
what-
have them over there in Kyle, excuse me. And Kyle has all the signs.
Can we go over there and
Way more.
see the signs like they were on one day?
Sure, Kyle will call him, yeah, when he's over
We're just kind of curious because we kind of like, different stories and, we just want to get it straight.
there. When people say signs, there's two pieces to a sign, right? So it was just a general.
Still
term.
waiting for parts, we're waiting for.
Yeah,
So they're waiting for the post.
waiting for the post and with a crazy supply chain.
We understand.
Yeah.
We were just curious.
Yeah, but he'd be happy to show them to you.
Okay, that's cool.
So
And
when I
then,
say signs,
Huh?
I think of a sign as one whole face.
Yeah.
I don't delineate between the two. So when somebody asks me about the sign, if you can't put a sign up without a post. So when somebody asks me that question, that's just me being a simple cop. So
Could use trees.
I have no idea. I thought it
I
was,
hear you.
I thought there were two parts to it, but
Okay.
little I know. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to bring up, I made some pictures here. I don't know if you guys want to pass them down. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but someone's tearing up all of our cul-de-sacs in the village with the plow. That's just one cul-de-sac. There's a lot more. And I just don't understand why you can't put up those snow stakes. I mean, how easy would that be so you know where to plow? I mean, we don't have curves, so, it's a fine line there, but there's gotta be some type of stakes or something to show where the cul-de-sac, starts and ends. And I guarantee, I've driven, or after I saw that, I drove around, they're all over the place. You can't even see some of them. Probably you can see them today more, because the snow melted, and they're all mud.
And you've seen the plow doing this?
Yes.
You saw the
And
plow?
Friday night when we were getting that, and Lergio on Hillcrest, on Friday night, when we were getting that sleety, they were out salting, but he also had his plow down. You could see sparks flying down the road. I was at a friend's house on Sharon, and you could see him coming down. And I saw him cut the corner at the bottom where the empty lot is in front of the thin house. And he just kept coming in everywhere he went, he had his plow down. It's like, there's nothing to plow.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay?
we'll take care of it.
Now, can
All right,
can I
thank you.
I'm
say
sure there's
something?
plenty
there?
more.
I live in a cul-de-sac. I mean, I'm on the side of the cul-de-sac and I've seen that happen over the years, but not recently. And, 5 years ago, I went out and bought steaks at Menards. They're only $1.19 a piece. I got about 15 and some of my other neighbors did it on the other side and we never have a problem. I mean, he comes down and, it's a cul-de-sac. He cuts a swath in the middle and then moves it over and I got to give them credit. They do one heck of a job. I can't speak for other cul-de-sacs, but I know if you maybe get a little more proactive and put some stakes out. They're
I don't
all,
live there.
what's that?
I don't live there.
Wow.
I walk my dog by there.
Well, the ones that live there, all they got to do is, you can buy 6, you can buy 15 of them. I only cost you $10, $15 for all of them. Pound them in and you'll never have a problem. Never.
We might have to help them out because we do have some 4 dozen cul-de-sacs in the village. And we've got 2 guys.
We'll bring it to their attention.
Yeah, we'll bring it to their attention. And one of these guys, this is his second year plowing. And we didn't have much snow last year, so.
We haven't had much snow this year either.
No, we haven't.
It's been pretty awesome.
This
so
is
far.
the second,
I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, appreciate it, sir.
So I just want to chime in and say thank you to our chief and staff. I've seen a lot more police activity. I saw quite a few folks getting pulled over on Locust and Winmore today. It's nice to see some attention heightened toward this because we've had a lot of crazy activity lately. and Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, moving on to trustees reports, roads and parks, Mr. Harney.
Nothing new now to report.
Thank you, then. Finance, Mr. Hoffman.
Not a lot of what in here last time, but just a couple of things as I've gone through. And maybe Eugene, this is something that I'll just need more, explanation on, but when I went through and I looked at some of the expenses and some of the revenue we brought in, and there was one there, and Chief, maybe it says DUI drug forfeiture for, is that something that, we got, X amount of dollars for that, or is that what that $1,500 was?
Yeah, so sometimes what happens is that part of the court agreement, when the person pleads guilty or whatever, is that there's fines or whatever. And so that's probably what that is. I'm not sure specifically which one you're talking about.
There was one that was spelled out there that
Which
said
item?
that, so I was just
Yeah.
curious as to what it, I
It's
asked these
usually-
questions and then the other one was, who was Sterling Code Five?
No, they're friends of Tony's.
Yeah, thank you.
Really? I can't approve that then.
They're the codifiers that publish municipal codes when we update it, and then they provide us with new updated codes on the website, and then they'll give us paper copies several times a year.
Okay.
That's now taken over they're now owned by a company called American Legal.
So we'll change from that to American Legal?
Yes, it
So I'll
will.
know what it is, okay. Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I understand now because we did some code changes and all that.
Yeah.
Lexipool LLC, what is that?
That's the new policy manual, the company we're using.
Oh, it is,
to write
okay.
our-
Yeah, I remember that.
policy
Oh,
manual.
We're fine. And under Elgin Water and Sewer, I see one bulk amount. I think it was like $47,000
That's
or
one
something. But then there's another one that says water services and that's like $5,000. What is that? Is that?
Your demand fee. So
Okay.
what Sleepy Hollow does is it combines the water, the usage charge and the demand fee in one amount, and Elgin breaks it out.
And then the other is, I think I told you before about miscellaneous services just piqued my interest when I see that. And I only found one this time. And of all places, I never would have figured it, but it was under Mark Schuster's billing. It said something about miscellaneous. It was like $300 or something like that. So I just wondering what that was.
What that is it doesn't have a category for it. So for all the little things, they'll put it on one bill instead of having separate little bills. Because each one of those bills is a page.
Right.
Okay, so any little items that doesn't have its own category goes into the miscellaneous, and then I break it down from there to the proper category.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen a miscellaneous before. I mean, his
It's actually-
detail is explicit. I mean, he
Yeah.
does a great job with the detail. And when I saw that going through it, I figured I'd ask you about that because anything miscellaneous just piques my interest.
Same thing for the engineering.
Okay.
The first page is the miscellaneous stuff that doesn't go to a specific major or regular project kind of thing.
Okay. All right, that's it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Thank you, George. Water and sewer, Mr. Nimitz.
Yeah, I got a couple of quick things. We had a meeting was it Wednesday, Steve? With the players in the water group, which have been Eugene, Steve, myself, Jeff Steele, and Kyle, to get Jeff Steele moving on the engineering for the water main project. As part of the discussion to nail it down, decision was made that Walnut Drive, as we said, is a court that needs to be looped because right now there's not enough pressure or volume at that hydrant for fire protection. The other issue that Jeff Steele pointed out is Acorn was not included on the list off of Surrey, which is really too long for a area that's not looped. So the decision was made to loop Walnut with Acorn on that side. So now we have 4 addresses, 881 Walnut Drive, 879 Walnut Drive, 1288 Acorn, and 1287 Acorn. Tony, I'll email you these so you don't have to write that down that fast.
Thank you.
So we're going to have to, Jeff Steele would like us to try and work on to see if the residents are interested in an easement there. It would all be underground directional boring, so there wouldn't be any disruption to the yard, but we have to figure out if we want to ask these residents for an easement and get that process moving, because if we can't get an easement, then there's no sense in proceeding with the engineering. That'll save us some money. The other one was Steve had pointed out that we had done the water main up to Laurel Court a few years ago. That's another one that was scheduled to be looped, and nothing, that just sat dormant for all these years. So a decision was made. We have the money for it as part of that grant, is to do the engineering to loop Laurel Court down Rainbow down to Hillcrest. Doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be included in the project. We're just going to do the engineering now so we can possibly seek grants or funding for that in the future. So it'll be cheaper that way. So with that in mind, I talked to Jeff Steele this morning. Depending upon the weather and the snow, They're going to get going with the surveying and other things they need. They expect a submittal to the IEPA for the initial plan in 9 months. And right now, the construction goal is the 2024-2025 construction season. So that, I think, is all I have. Did I skip anything, Steve? I forgot anything?
No, don't believe so.
Any questions on that? Nope. So,
I have any questions, Joe?
okay, very good. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Police and Public Safety, in the absence of Mr. Diatley, Chief Parma?
I sent out my, my usual memo, just a little clarification on the fuel project that we've been working on. Logistically, the only thing I need to work out is how to remove one of the posts that's currently blocking the current tank that's out there. Get that out of the way so they can remove the old tank. And then also getting electric to it. The permits, we've got Jeff Leck, who works for the village, who's kind of an expert from the fire side. He can help us with any of the permitting that we would need to do it. So I'm hoping to have everything together so I can give you guys a formal proposal at the next board meeting. But it doesn't look like there's going to be almost no cost out of our pocket to do it. They're going to give us the tanks for free. They're going to remove Kyle's old tank for free. They will provide a service, so they'll basically save us about 50 cents a gallon on regular fuel from the police
Wow.
department standpoint, and probably 20 to 25 cents a gallon for Kyle as well for diesel. So to me, it seems like almost a no-brainer for the village to go forward with it once we work out the details.
That's excellent work, Chief.
Chief, is this gonna be a split tank?
It'll be 2 separate tanks. So Kyle will have a 500-gallon tank on the left side, and then we'll have a 1,000-gallon tank on the right side.
Are they metal or are they polymer?
They're a double wall steel tank,
Okay.
but they're round.
Yeah.
Substantially smaller. The tank he's got out there right now is about 8 foot, well, it's almost 6 feet wide and almost 13 feet long. The new tank will be about 3 feet wide and about 6 feet long for Kyle. And for us, it'll be about 3 feet wide and about 11 feet long. So both tanks will fit in the same spot.
Excellent.
Okay,
And that's it.
that's it. All right, thank you, Chief. Public Building and Environment, Mr. Thorne.
The only thing I have is, for those of you who didn't or aren't familiar with the fact that we're looking at redoing the website. And we're making an effort at trying to get that done before budgeting gets here. So kind of under the gun that way. But if you have input or anything that you would like to see in that, please let me know. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Building and Zoning, Mr. Perino is not with us, so he did not leave a message. So we have no report for him. Moving on to old business. Any old business to come before the board? No old business. Move to new business. Under new business, trimming along village roadways. It's been a subject that's been brought up and dropped a couple of times. And I would like Mr. Harney and Mr. Thorne to take a gander at this. Go back to January 7th, 2013, February 17th, 2013. There's a couple of notes in those minutes about the board looking at clearing out the roadways within the village within a height of 14 feet and 6 inches and a width somewhere between 3 to 5 feet. And we've never come to a resolve on that. So could task you two gentlemen, since it was left in the hands of Roads and Environment in 2013.
I think Ed should just do it.
You and Ed can, get back together and throw something up at us and let us look at it on the 7th of February.
Okay, so that has
This
to
is
be, I'm sorry.
roadways throughout the village.
Okay,
Okay,
so
Just to
that,
give Kyle guidance.
just give Kyle guidance throughout the village and how to take care of the vegetation alongside the road.
is this something we need to vote on next time, or is this just something we need to
We need
look
to put it in print.
We need to put in print.
at? Okay,
We need to provide Kyle with guidelines as to how and where. and what.
okay,
So,
sure.
In fact, I already talked to Kyle about it, so we're.
And I said,
Take the rest of the night off, Ed.
I said, I'll send you the links on yeah, the
Okay.
minutes. You'll see the minutes where it was left, so.
Okay,
Okay,
I'd like to see those, yep.
all right. Any other new business come before the board?
I just want to point out one thing is Tony, I don't know, the environmental committee had all kinds of meetings and Todd Prigate had some input. So you may want to see if we can dig out some of those minutes and provide them from that time period. Might be kind of helpful with the background. And something was pointed out to me today that we never discussed or even thought about, that depending upon how often you want to be trimming, if your goal is to have the roadway cleared 3 to 5 feet, then you need to consider the growth of those plants in a year. And I was surprised to look that up, and that honeysuckle, which is most of what is creeping on the shoulders, can grow 2 to 3 feet per year. So if your goal is 3 or 5 feet, then you may want to set a cut back further than that, so you achieve that goal in a year, not doing it every 3 to 5 months.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, any other comments, new business come before the board? If not, next time on the agenda. Adjournment?
Can I ask, you had a meeting with, real quick, I don't know if it's on the new business, with West Dundee? No, that never transpired?
We've not had a meeting with them. We've had a meeting about them.
About them, oh, okay.
We've
But
talked
you haven't
about
met with them
them.
They haven't met with us yet?
They haven't met with us yet. No. We're sending them, I don't think at this point we really need a meeting, a face-to-face, other than to say hi. I think after last week, we pretty much come to a resolve with this. We'll send it to them and see what they have to say.
Okay.
Other than that,
I move that we adjourn.
moved by Nemec, seconded by Harney to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Mr. Harney.
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Mr. Nimitz.
Aye.
4 affirmative votes, no negative votes. We are adjourned. We'll see you Monday, February 7th. Same place, same station.
Same back time.
7. I think for that one, I'm probably gonna be remote, we're still remote, if we're not, I won't, because I'm having a full knee replacement next week.
Oh. So now we can.
I kind of